Okay, so here's my plan for this. I have a few questions already lined up to just get us rolling at the beginning, but I hope that more people are going to come in and ask me stuff live, and maybe I'll put people on the screen and do that whole thing. Whoever has a question for me, if you want me to see it, you know, I'll be reading the chat and stuff. But I'm going to wait a few minutes here to get some people to come in. I'm going to go live on Instagram really quick and just make sure everybody knows that I'm live right now. Oh wait, do I have to download the app for that? I've never used YouNow before, so this is kind of weird. But it's fun. I'm excited. Okay. Yeah, I have to get the Instagram app to do that. Hold on. I'm just going to go live on Instagram really quick. Tell people that I'm here. How's everyone doing today, this fine Sunday? It's been a pretty chill day for me. I got to sleep in. That was nice. Hello, Emily. I see you. I'm also new here, so it's good to see another fresh face. Okay, let me just go live on Instagram really quick and tell people that I'm here. God dang, I forgot my Instagram password. Hold on. No, okay. I literally forgot my password. Never mind. Okay, we're gonna get started. So at any point, like okay, here's what I'm gonna do. For people who don't know me, I'm just gonna like tell my life story a little bit here. So my name is Elle. I'm 20 years old. Actually, I'm about to turn 21 in like less than 2 weeks, so that's exciting. I was I was 15 years old when I first decided that I was not a girl. I was in fact a boy, a trans boy. And I got really into the trans community, and I was very online, and I decided to transition to a boy when I was 15. And pretty shortly after that, I started testosterone, like about a year and a half after that, which, you know, is the male hormone. So I basically looked like a guy. I sounded like a guy, you know, I had like, I was living as a man. And I did that for 3 years until I was 19. Taking hormones. I never had surgeries, but I took hormones, and I realized when I was 19 that I was kind of missing out on what it was like to be a woman, missing out on the teenage girl experience that I didn't really get to have. And I decided to stop taking testosterone. And it's been a year and like 2.5 months since then, almost 3. But so yeah, that's pretty much where I'm at now. I made a YouTube video about it like 6 months after I detransitioned. It went viral, and I made YouTube videos about it for a while. If you want to watch them, you can go check me out at L Palmer on YouTube. I did a Q&A in like, I think it was in February of this year. Or no, it was in January, I think. I did a Q&A. But a lot has changed since then. So if you have anything to ask, I will be answering it. Stephanie Gauthier, sorry if I'm pronouncing that wrong, 88, said, what is the biggest challenge? That is a really good question. I think the biggest challenge of detransitioning is probably, I don't know, there's a lot that goes into it. Like I'd say like at the beginning, for me, the biggest challenge was the fact that I just did not look like a girl at all. People did not see me that way at all. I had to like explain myself to people when I would meet them. Like it took a good few months to feel comfortable with the way that I looked, my appearance. I looked like a guy. I was still growing a beard. And I was still like living as a man for part of that time. So it was hard. It was hard to like balance who I knew myself to be and like who I knew myself like as like in my past with the person that I looked like, because my outside appearance like no longer matched how I felt on the inside, and that was really hard. So that was the biggest challenge at first. I'd say like later on in my detransition, it was mostly like my voice. I was really struggling with like being able to be comfortable like going out and speaking to people and like looking at myself, like listening to myself. Not so much looking at myself. Like I got more comfortable with my appearance as I started to look more like a girl. And honestly, at this point, I'm very comfortable with how I look. But before like after that point, I mean, with my voice, I was struggling with like, I don't know, I think it was deeper before too, but I think it's gotten a little bit lighter. But it doesn't really bother me that much anymore. So now I'd say the biggest challenge is probably changing all my documents back because I still have to do that. All of my like my driver's license, my passport, everything that I have, like all my government documents, they still say my male name on them. So I have to get those all changed, and that process takes forever, like changing my name back and all of that takes forever. So yeah, I'd say that. It was also a struggle to like think about like how I would feel with like romantic relationships, cuz I hadn't really dated anyone for like a year during my entire detransition. Um and I was kind of wondering like how are people going to feel about me as a person? Do I have to like change anything about myself to like be in a relationship? But I have a boyfriend now, and we've been dating for like 3 months. So I'm not worried about that anymore. It's really good. Thank you for the question. Anybody else have anything? I'm reading through them now. I'm going to keep answering questions for as long as you guys have them, pretty much. One Homa 50366 said, how have things been since you stopped being on YouTube? By the way, there are a lot more people watching this through YouTube. Fuck. Okay, let me look on YouTube. Hold on. I'll answer some questions from YouTube too. Oh my god, I feel like a boomer. Wait. I've never live streamed on YouTube either. So, I don't know what I'm doing. Where is it? What? Can you like... Oh my god, I feel like such a boomer right now. Oh, hello. There it is. I see. Never live streamed. Oh my God, please do not. Please do not play my own voice back to me. Okay. Okay, I'm going to answer that question now. And I got the chat pulled up on here. Okay, how have things been since you stopped being on YouTube? Okay, honestly, I have to be honest here. I took a break from YouTube because I was struggling with like hearing myself talk, and like during my editing process, honestly even during recording, I was having trouble. I was getting really like unself-confident. Like I was starting to listen to my voice and just like hate the way that I sounded. I'm sure that happens to a lot of people, but it felt really personal for me to like make videos about detransitioning and then have to like listen to my own voice over and over. I didn't like, I needed a break from that. And after going on a break from that, I feel a lot better mentally. But I do want to start making videos again soon. Probably. I made one. I haven't uploaded it yet, obviously, but I'm going to probably this week, in the next few days. I also want to do a Q&A with my boyfriend, and he agreed to it, which I am excited about. So, not right now. He's not here, but a video probably I want to do, or maybe I'll do it live. I don't know. Probably not. I don't think he would want me to. But yeah. So, oh my God, Emily 56491. Thank you so much for those likes. I really appreciate that. You're my #1 fan now. That's really nice. Oh my God, Homa too. Thank you. So yeah, to answer your question, I feel better, but I also want to come back. Like I'm ready, I think, to come back. I was just in a really bad spot mentally and I needed a break. What were my parents' reactions? I think I've talked about this a little bit before, but I don't think I've really gone into that much detail. So I will now, because I'm basically just answering anything that anybody has to ask. So to my transition, my mom was very upset. And she basically argued with me quite a bit. Like basically was like, you're not trans. Hold on, I'm going to move that down a little. She was like, yeah, you're not trans. I'm not letting you transition until you're 25. And we argued about it a lot for the first like year that I was identifying as trans. And it took a long time for her to get to the point of being like, okay, yeah, I'm going to let you take testosterone. But it took like, honestly, I haven't talked about this because I don't want people to like shit on my parents. They just were doing what they thought was best for me. They honestly thought that like it would help my mental health because I like wasn't going to school. Like I didn't have any friends or anything. So they thought like, okay, maybe this is really like the last resort thing that needs to happen for this kid to be able to like function. But they were not like happy about it at first. Like they didn't really think that I was trans because they knew me. And I was like, no, shut up. I'm trans. This is not a phase, Mom. Turns out it was. To my detransition though, it was a lot different. My mom, I called her pretty soon after I realized it. I wanted to talk to her about it right away because I knew that I needed to, but she was very, very, very supportive of me. I think she kind of saw it coming because I had started to dress like more feminine and stuff. And I think she was kind of like, okay, yeah, I see this. Like this kid of mine, you know, is finally figuring their shit out. So that was good. But yeah, she was very, she was just like, whoever you are, like, I love you, you know, like you're always my kid. You know, it was nice to be able to talk to her about it. She listened to me a lot too, so that was nice. My sister did too, and I'm really close with her, and I might make a video with her here soon. Caledonius Lamb. Caledonia, I don't know. Caledonius Lamb. Who are your favorite YouTubers? I like that question a lot. That kind of changes sometimes. Right now, I'm really obsessed with Long Beach Griffey. He's a sketch YouTuber. I really like sketch comedy videos on YouTube. They're like a minute or two long. They're really entertaining to me. I also like Caleb City. He's a similar kind of comedy. I used to say Northern Lion was my favorite YouTuber, and he does video games, but I haven't watched him in a long time, and I don't think I'm going to be because I don't really vibe that much with his content anymore. I watched him for a really long time, but I don't know. He's got a big place in my heart, though. Okay, let's do more questions here. I'm going to look on YouTube and see if there's anything. 90 people on YouTube. Oh my God. Hello, everyone. Oh my gosh. Oh, thank you, Mondom. That's a really nice comment. I really appreciate that. Okay, Green Friends on YouTube says, why didn't you want to be a girl? And this is a very, it's a very complex question. So I'd say a lot of it. Okay, I struggled with a lot of like mental health issues, and I'd say that was probably most of it. Like when I was going through puberty and when I was like a young teen, like I had a lot of depression and anxiety, and I was uncomfortable in my body. That was the big thing. I had an eating disorder, and that is just like a combination of like a terrible time. And I kind of thought that like if I wasn't a girl, then I wouldn't have to deal with those things. I kind of thought that like on a like subconscious level, I think I kind of thought that like if I transitioned, I could become like a different person and get away from that past self and start fresh. And honestly, that's kind of what ended up happening, which is not the case for most people, I'd say. Most detransitioners I've heard end up having a worse time on hormones. Well, I mean, that's not necessarily true, but that's kind of true from a lot of people that I've heard. But personally, I really enjoyed transitioning, and I had a really great transition. I got pretty much everything that I wanted from my transition, and I looked like a guy. I lived as a man. Like I had no problems with it, and I ended up having like a better life. Like I went to school, I made friends. I was really like successful in high school when I was transitioning, and then I got to college and immediately detransitioned in college. So it's kind of like hard, yeah. But as for like not being a girl, not wanting to be a girl, there are just so many things. Like I was really into feminism when I was growing up, and like I grew up very feminist, like from a young age. And I don't really know where this came from, but I had this idea that like if I don't know, it's kind of weird because I was like a feminist, but then I also had these really like stereotypical ideas about like being a woman. So I thought like, oh, if I don't know, I didn't want to shave my legs or my armpits. I didn't want to have to shave. I didn't want to have to wear makeup. I didn't want to have to wear like tight bras and tight shirts and all of that when I was a teenager, because I just saw people around me doing that, I guess, and I saw like my sister who was older than me getting into that stuff, and I didn't feel the desire at all to do that. My mom kind of dismissed me a little bit. She was kind of like, "Yeah, you'll get into that eventually." And I was like, "I don't feel like I will." And I honestly still don't really care about makeup. Like, I don't wear makeup really ever. I don't even really know how to put it on. Um, I, as you can tell from that video that I made about putting on makeup for the first time. Um, and yeah, I mean, I like fashion and I like wearing like nice clothes now, stuff that looks good. But I wasn't ever into being like that feminine. And I thought that for some reason, I thought that that was something wrong with me, which is sad. But I think that's a pretty common thing, I think, for young girls. I was also, this is just my personality type, but I've always just been very, very like internal in my own head, like overthinking and kind of connecting things that don't really need to be connected. I just like, I think too much. And that's never good. That's never a good thing. All right, let's read more questions here. Okay, let's look on YouTube. Hold on. Do you feel like you as a minor, this is a really good question from Shay Ginger. Do you feel like you as a minor teenager could fully comprehend the process and long-term implications of transitioning? No, absolutely not. And a few times people had tried to explain it to me, like my mom, my therapists. Um, they were basically saying like, you don't understand how this is going to impact your future, like your dating life, your like, I mean, my mom was kind of like, you don't, okay, I know you're 15 and you don't care about this, but in the future, you're going to be dating people and you're going to have a really hard time as a trans person trying to date people. And I was like, what do you mean? Trans men are men. Like that's basically what the community would just say. And um it was impossible for me to like realize that there were like other people outside of the trans community who, I mean, okay, I was so immersed in the trans community that I didn't even really think about anyone outside of that. So I was basically like, there's a whole trans community who believes that I am a valid man and that I can have all these prospects of dating LGBT people and other trans people and trans men and stuff like that. Um, and I didn't really care. I was like, that's not a big deal. Like I'll figure it out when the time comes. You know, I just want to be myself. I want to be comfortable. I want to be happy. And I really just honestly thought that that was the only thing that was going to work to like make me happy. And that that was the thing to do to like improve my life. I honestly didn't see any negatives or drawbacks to it at all at the time. Like I was like I was like, if I ever start testosterone and regret it, I'll just deal with it then. I didn't even care about the future, like thinking about like the possibilities. I did not care at all. So yeah, couldn't really comprehend that at all. Um, do you feel, oh, this is a good question. Do you feel the need to explain to people you meet that you detransitioned? This is a really good question that I haven't, before like August, I had never really had to encounter that problem yet because I hadn't really gone out and met new people after detransitioning, but now I have. So I will answer this. This is a good question. So when I went on my first date with my boyfriend, I kind of was thinking about it and I was like wondering like what was going on in his head, if he was like curious about the way my voice sounded or the way that I looked or anything like that, if he like knew that like there was something about me that was different. I don't know. I was kind of wondering like, okay, do I need to like explain this to him or what? But I never did. And then I waited until like a week or two after we started dating officially to actually like explain the whole situation to him because I didn't want to just like immediately be like, oh yeah, I was like in a cult and like I had this whole like mental problem for a long time. I didn't want to just like drop that on like the second date. But um we talked about it and he was like, honestly, your voice doesn't really bother me. Like I don't notice it really at all. And I like the way you sound and stuff. And he also is like, you don't look like a guy at all. And like I don't think there's anything like different about you. And I'm like, that's nice. And when I met all of his friends, I was kind of thinking the same thing, like, oh, like, what are they thinking? What are they gonna think? But he told me like just recently that like all of his friends don't care. They don't care at all. They don't notice. Like people don't really notice, I think. Like when I'm out going places in public, I look like a girl. So people, even like I signed up for a gym membership a few days ago and the guy like looked at my credit card, which still has my male name on it, and he was like, "Wait, what's your name?" After we'd been talking for a while and like um it was like, okay, yeah, people see me and talk to me and they assume that I'm a woman because I am, and like I don't have to worry about that anymore, really. Um so that's really nice. Um so I'd say like most of the time I don't really have to explain it to people because they don't really notice or care. Sometimes people call me sir, like every once in a while if I have like a mask on and like depending on what I'm wearing, if you like can't tell that I have boobs and stuff, sometimes people call me sir. Um because of my voice probably. But other than that and on the phone too, people call me sir on the phone all the time, which is, whatever. But other than that, I don't really think about it and I don't really have to. People don't really care in person. Like I don't look like a trans woman, so people don't care, I think. I don't think people really notice. I don't know. But it also doesn't really bother me like what other people think. Like cuz I don't have the mental energy to spend like thinking about that anymore really, to be like worried about it all the time like I used to be, cuz I'm just done with that. I'm sick of it. I really just don't like to waste time doing that anymore because it doesn't matter. It really doesn't. I think people only like ask me questions like that because I put myself out there as like a detransitioner. And so they know like, oh, this isn't like your natural voice. But I honestly think that people out in the real world like think nothing of it because it doesn't sound that masculine. I don't know. I don't know. I can't really judge myself like that. So I don't know. All right, let's keep looking here. Oh my gosh, Gen B. Gen B said, "My dad is transgender and makes a point to tell us what is proper and not. And when I mentioned detransitioning, he was like, "Oh, we don't talk about that. What's the deal?" Geez, that's a loaded question right there. That's pretty heavy. Yeah. That sounds like a kind of a rough situation. I don't know how you feel about it. I'm I'm kind of I kind of feel the need to say like I'm sorry that you're in that situation because that sounds pretty rough. Um, kind of being like policed by your own parents about, I don't know, the language that you don't really know anything about, and like having to like be careful and like walk on eggshells and stuff. That sounds really rough. Um, I don't. A lot of people in the trans community really don't like detransitioners. They don't like to listen to our stories or think that they are like real or like valid, you know? So a lot of people think that like we should kind of just not talk about detransitioning. It should just kind of go away, you know, even though there are a lot of people out there who are doing it right now who are like me, and just trying to live life and talk about it. Um, it makes them uncomfortable, I think. The fact that some people regret it, um, which, you know, it's just the way that it is. There's going to be a lot more detransitioners, I think, that are going to be coming out soon, you know, in the next few years, I think. Um, yeah, I don't know. That's a rough situation. Homa says, would you ever do a collab with Ryan Barnes? Dude, we talked about it before. I was kind of trying to make the plan to do that, but it was right before I stopped making videos. And she agreed to it. She agreed to do one with me, but I was kind of the one who was like coming up with the ideas. And then I just kind of didn't ever make a plan for like when or how or where or anything. So we haven't, but I would in the future. I just kind of needed to take a break from YouTube to like get my mental health in order. But now that I'm pretty much mostly okay, I would definitely be willing to do that. Yeah. Yeah, I think she's really cool. Um oh god, I just lost my place on the chat. Oh god, there's so many questions. Holy crap. Okay, I found it. Mia says, I was going to ask about replacement therapy. Did the testosterone affect your health in any way? And are doctors recommending estrogen therapy to offset the androgenic effects testosterone had on you? Oh, wait, hold on. I'm going to change the title of this. Wait, hold on. Oops, fuck. Wait. I'm just going to change the title so that people see what it is, and then they'll be like, oh, okay. All right. Oh no, now I have to go back to the chat. Hold on. I'm going to answer that question. Oops. Oh no. There I am. Okay, so did the testosterone have an effect on my health? Not really. As far as I know, I don't think it did. I don't think it did anything to me like my fertility or anything like that, hopefully. I don't know for sure. There's no way to really know. But as far as like, I don't have like prolapse, which is good because that happens to some people after being on testosterone for years. Uterine prolapse. It's not fun. But that did not happen to me, thankfully. I'm pretty sure my reproductive system is healthy. Thankfully for women who detransition, as long as I didn't have a hysterectomy, there's a very good chance that I'm still fertile and I could still have a kid at this point. And hopefully a healthy one. I'm pretty sure that it doesn't really affect like my reproductive system long term, but I'm not 100% sure. Like there's not really any studies or anything done on that. But yeah, I don't think that it really affected my health at all. Honestly, it made my mental health a lot better while I was trans, but then afterwards it was really rough to go through like a withdrawal and then going back to like estrogen and being all like up and down all the time. It was really annoying. It was really hard to deal with that. But my body produces estrogen, so I don't have any problems with my hormone levels now. I'm a-okay. I get periods and everything. I'm totally fine. Marty N says, what's your MBTI type? I like this question. I am an ENFP, so you take that as you will. Anton Constantin said, have you ever felt hopeless? Yes, I have. Yeah, I have. Absolutely. Quite a lot of the time, actually, I have. Yeah, when I first detransitioned, like the first, okay, honestly, like until I made a video, no, it was like right before I made my first video, like in December of 2019, I was probably struggling really bad. And that's why I made my first video in January. And at that point, I was like dissociating from my body, and I was like having a very hard time with being comfortable with who I was, how I looked, how my voice sounded. I was trying to dress more femininely at that point and like figure out what I wanted to do, like with myself. I don't know, like my self-expression and everything. But it was really hard because I didn't really look like a girl yet at that point. I was still like dealing with the effects of the testosterone. So that was probably like when I felt the worst about myself, was those few months at the beginning of the year, January and February and a little bit of March. And then I struggled with the coronavirus happening too, because I had to leave school and all of that. I had to leave all my friends. I had to leave, go back home and stuff like that. But it was a bit easier during that time. It was hard because I was lonely, but it was easier to deal with myself. And I got to have a lot of time alone and figure out like who I was during that time, which was really helpful to me. And nowadays I feel a lot better. Like I think at my worst is when I really needed to talk about it a lot, because I was struggling so much. I wanted to make sure, like, I wanted to be able to like help other people who were struggling in the same way, to be like, hello, I'm here and I am going through this and you are going through this and it's going to be okay for both of us eventually. I think I've gotten to that point now that it's mostly okay. CK said, how is your relationship going? Thank you for that question. It's going very swimmingly. And we might do a Q&A here soon. I'm in a video or live, I don't know yet. But yeah, if you have any questions for me and my boyfriend, you can tweet them to me and I will read them. MW, that's such a nice comment. Thank you. I really appreciate that. Camila Osairo says, would you get voice feminization? No. I would not. Do you have any career aspirations? Emily D says, uh, I recently like dropped out of college. So I guess I would say like I do and I don't. I don't really know what I want to do for sure. Um, I do want to stay in school and I want to do things with my life. I want to stay in school. That's what I want to do. I don't know exactly what I want to study, but I do want to I want to get a degree. I've been thinking I might want to go to pharmacy school because I'm really interested in all of that, or like study psychology maybe. I dropped out of journalism because I just didn't like it. I didn't like journalism. I didn't want to be a journalist. So yeah, that's where I'm at. Oh my God, Homa says I'm doing pharmacy. It's awesome, but hard. Yeah. I'm not sure about chemistry. I've never done chemistry before. Like even in high school, I didn't have to do chemistry, so I didn't. I was going to, but then I didn't just because it's optional. I ended up not having enough time because I graduated in 2 years. So I just did other science classes instead. But I really wish I had done chemistry. I think I would have liked it. I can still do it, but it's going to be a little bit harder in college since I don't have that high school experience. Yeah, I have to try chemistry. I've literally never done it before. So I should try it. Right now, though, I don't know if I'm going to go back in spring to school because of COVID and everything. It's still really annoying to deal with how they're dealing with COVID. Let me find another question here. Yeah, I definitely think that like with the internet, it's really messing up our kids. I think if I had a kid, I would not let them on the internet, at least not right away. For a long time growing up. Hello, Drew Mahoney. Welcome to my chat. Oh, thank you for the likes. I appreciate that. Yeah, I don't like the way the internet has become. I mean, seeing it for myself, like personally, the effect that it had on me, like, I don't want that to happen to my kid. I was really messed up because of the internet. I mean, here I am right now on the internet. I've gotten there's been a lot of bad experiences from me on the internet. So I'm like, I can't in good conscience, like get my kid a smartphone when they're like 6 years old. I don't understand how people can do that. It's kind of lazy to me, lazy parenting. But I think my parents at the time didn't know, like, they didn't know what the internet would become. It wasn't like it was now when I was growing up. It's changed a lot, even in the past like 10 years. Yeah. All right. Let's keep scrolling here. I'm getting your videos have been very helpful to me. Thank you. I really appreciate that, Jay. I'm glad they've helped you. Oops. God, this YouTube chat scrolls so weird. Okay. I don't know if you've answered this before, but did you lose any friends when you detransitioned? That's a good question. I did. I don't know if it's directly correlated to my detransition, but I think that I did lose some friends because of it. But I also lost friends because I had a lot of changing opinions on the trans community. And I don't necessarily think that it was because I detransitioned. I think it was just because of how I grew and changed as a person, and how the way that my friends viewed these basic things that had affected my life was the way that they viewed them and the way that I started to view them were drastically different. And I think that's why I lost some friends. Had some falling outs with people just because of the huge differences in our beliefs. I mean, there's no, you know, and it was very personal to me at the time when I first detransitioned. So there was no way for me to like separate that from who I was friends with. Honestly, I couldn't. It was a big part of like my relationships with people, I think. And for a while it was all I could talk about for a few months there, like one or two. Which is not healthy, but that's why I made the YouTube videos, so that I could talk about it and be upset for an audience, which I appreciated a great deal, and I still do. But I have a lot more nuance, I think, now in my opinions. I definitely have changed some of the ways that I view things. But I've made a lot of new friends after detransitioning, and so I'm very grateful to that. I've had quite a few people reach out to me and be like, yeah. And I'm okay with that. I'm okay with losing a few friends here and there. That just happens sometimes. Okay, there's quite a few questions here. Would doing something related to art or music interest you? It would. You know, I really like music. And I'm thinking I want to learn how to make music. I do. If anybody has any tips on that, that would be great. I really want to get like software, whatever equipment you need to like mix. I honestly don't know that much about it, but I really want to, because music is freaking amazing. I love listening to music. I love singing. I love instruments. I would love to make music. I would love that. I kind of want to try. I want to start doing things like that, creative things. I think becoming a therapist would suit you well. That's nice. I think I don't know. I've thought about that before. Um, but yeah, I'm not sure. There's so many great people on this chat on my YouTube, and I really appreciate that. You guys are great. And YOUNOW here too. There's a lot of questions. Drew Mahoney, did I lose audio? Did I? I don't know. I'm gonna find another question here. Sagittarians have very high empathy for the opposite gender. Dude. Really? What do you mean by that? Can you elaborate on that? I wanna know more about that. Do you wish people would have questioned you more when you decided to transition? Christine Y says. Um, you know, I thought about that a lot at first because I was very upset by the way that I had been affected and the irreversible changes. I was like, I mean, to be fair, like being a 15-year-old, 16-year-old, and having all these adults just go like, yeah, you know who you are. Yeah, you're totally capable of making this decision. Um, I don't think that's right at all. I don't think that's okay. Um, I really highly don't agree with that at all. So, yeah, I do wish people had questioned me more, but I don't, you know, because I think going forward, I think that's how it should be. I think there should be gatekeeping, especially for minors. Like, I really don't think people should just be able to go into Planned Parenthood and be like, oh yeah, get me on testosterone today. And they're like, okay, we'll give you your shot right now. That's literally what happens. I don't think that's not right. That is not right. People are going to make those decisions impulsively when you can just go in there and do that. I mean, I made the decision impulsively. I just made it impulsively and like implanted it into my head that that was what I had to do. And there was no like, I don't know. There was no extra thought. Like I didn't ever stop and think like, what are the negative consequences of this? I didn't ever think that. I was always just like, this is what I have to do. And that's like a teenager thing, I think, too. So like, I don't know. People really should have questioned that. I don't know. Let's find another question. Somebody told me to be an engineer or a doctor. I've thought about both of those. I have a lot of thoughts. I'm not sure practically what I would like to do. I'm going to try a bunch of different things and see if that helps. And if it doesn't help, I'll just fucking study English. I don't know. Or psychology. I like both of those. Yeah, I definitely experienced a lot of harassment on the internet as a girl, which is why I wouldn't want to allow my kids on there, because there are predators. There are a lot of people who will take advantage of kids on the internet. That's just horrible. All right, I'm gonna refresh the chat so that I can. Sorry if I missed any of your questions, but it's moving really fast. Throughout your teenage years during early transition, did you find yourself prioritizing the thoughts and opinions of your online friends more than IRL ones? Well, to be honest, I really didn't have any real life friends. So yes, I had some people that I knew in real life, but as I got into the trans community, I didn't go to school, so I didn't really have any friends, and I didn't hang out with anyone, which is a big red flag to like why I would probably be transitioning, you know. There's a lot of reasons to you know, if you don't have any friends and you find a community of people who will all unquestioningly affirm you, then yeah, it makes sense that you would feel really accepted and want to get deeper into that community. Hello, Ryan Steele. Yes, I am new to the platform and I am a new partner. Hello. Thank you for your invite. I appreciate that. Yeah, I've never done a YOUNOW thing before. I'm currently live on YouTube and YOUNOW. YOUNOW's fun. I like it so far. I appreciate everyone watching me here. Cerber V said, "Al, do you think that even if you were questioned more, would you stop in your pursuit? Do you think it would have helped you, or would you have just been more frustrated?" I've kind of answered that before, but I think I don't know. I honestly don't think, I don't know. It's kind of, to me, it's like what I think should be done for kids now is not necessarily what I think would have helped me, because I don't think kids know what's best for them, but it's hard to say because I've grown now and I'm a different person than I was when I was 15. And so I don't know exactly what can help like the same kid in the same situation that I was in, like a 15-year-old who is desperately convinced that they're trans. I think early intervention and persistent intervention is the best way to like to redirect their attention, like sports or school or relationships or whatever it is, friendships. Just get them focused on something else. Like there are so many other things in the world to be fixated on, and turning inward is, I feel, a very common thing, especially for girls, but for any teenager to really do, depending on the person, obviously. But getting that energy of analyzing yourself and thinking too much about yourself, get that energy directed to something productive, like homework, sports, friends, whatever, family relationships, to something creative, whatever it is, you know, because that energy is very useful for a teenager to have. It's just horrible to see it directed towards themselves. So yeah, that's my advice to that. um, what does psych nurse mean? What is that, Tux Cat? I've never heard of that before. A psych nurse. What kind of career is that? Let me look on YouTube at questions. Oh, I was just sending your Instagram a message. Well, hello. Oh, I see it. Okay, I will check that out. I like poetry. Do you have any advice for anyone who is genuinely questioning their gender identity? I want to say that, like, I don't know if there is really a reason to genuinely question your gender identity. And I'm sure that's a controversial thing to say, but it's really dependent on like who you're surrounding yourself with. Like, are you in the trans community? Are you around like LGBT people? Like, don't be around people who are identifying that way, and instead find people who don't think about that kind of thing, who aren't like obsessed with gender or politics or whatever it is that you're thinking about. Find other people to be around, and don't get like really immersed and deep into that crowd and like that mentality, because a lot of times it's just people influencing you. Like, honestly, especially, I mean, that's what happened to me, and I'd say that's a pretty common thing. um yeah, it really, it's not a healthy thing to question your gender identity. Like, there are definitely other things that go into that, other factors and things that you should be thinking about. um yeah. Are you spiritual? Depends on your definition of spiritual. I'd say, like, I'm not the most spiritual. I'm not very spiritual. Um, I'm not necessarily very. I don't think about it too often, but I'm open to it, I guess. Um, what are some documentaries you recommend? I just watched. This is probably very old. um, I mean, not that old. It's like two. No, it's not. It's like 4 years old at this point. I just watched Hamilton's Pharmacopoeia on Hulu, and that is a very, very interesting documentary series on drugs, if you're interested in that. I'm very, I loved it. It was very good, very interesting to me. I've always been into drugs. I just love learning about all the different kinds of drugs that there are. And he's a chemist, so he was explaining like the properties of different drugs and all of that, mostly psychedelics. Um, but yeah, I thought that was very interesting. Hormones are not toys. They have one-way effects. Yeah, that's very true. I didn't really consider that or pay attention to that at all or care. I mean, I knew that that was a thing, but I knew I would end up with a deep voice and facial hair and all of that. But at the time, I was like, yeah, that's what I want. So that's why you're interested in pharmacy. Yes. Yeah, exactly. I'm really into like I love learning about the effects and the interactions and all of that with drugs. I've always just been into that. Like I don't know the chemistry behind it at all. Like, and I kind of want to. And he talks about the chemistry, and it was way over my head. I have no idea, but it was very interesting. I liked it. I'm thinking about that. Let's see. That is from Vice. Yes, it is. Yes, it is. Um, I used to love Vice. You know, I used to want to write for Vice. That was like my career goal in life. That's why I was going to study journalism. I wanted to go write for Vice. What kind of music do you like, and what are your favorite artists? That is a very good question. My kind of the people that I listen to changes a lot. I'm sure it does with most people. Um, I really like right now. I'm listening to Mild Orange, and not that many people know about them, but I'm listening to their self-titled album a lot over and over. It's very good. I'm also listening to Dayglow, and his album is freaking great. He's only got one out right now. He's working on new music, but oh my God, it is very good. I listened to that when I went to the gym yesterday. As I was on the treadmill, I just listened to that whole album twice. It was freaking great. It's such a good album. I like kind of um, indie stuff. It's nice. Bye sucks. Bye. Yeah, I have definitely changed my opinion on that for sure. I wouldn't want to write for them anymore. They're very biased in my opinion, in anyone's opinion, pretty much. Your hair has gotten long quick. Thank you. I agree with that assessment. It really has. It's getting longer every day. It grows. Um, do you have any hobbies besides YouTube? I like to play the guitar. I haven't done that in a while though. I've been reading a lot. I like to listen to music. Um, I want to try making music. I keep saying that. I have a SoundCloud. I'm probably going to upload there soon. Maybe not soon, but like someday I will. um, yeah, I like a few things. I like to watch YouTube. I got a cat, so my cat's my hobby right now too. Um, let's see if there's any more questions. I think I'm probably going to go here soon. Does anybody have any last questions for me? I think this is getting towards the end of my Q&A session here. If anyone is curious about my YouTube career, check me out at L Palmer. And I will probably be uploading a video here soon this week, maybe. And I will be doing a Q&A with my boyfriend in a few weeks, about 2. Not sure if I'm going to do that live or recorded. I might do it live, but I don't know if you like that. We'll probably record it. Yeah, we'll see. Also, I'm going to start streaming more, probably on YouNow here, because I'm enjoying this. Maybe on Twitch. We'll see. Smarty Pants, hello. I see you. Can we see your cat? Yes, I'm going to be making a cat video here soon. That is a different video, but yes, I'm probably going to upload that soon too. You should come do a working holiday in Australia while you figure out what you want to study. We've basically eliminated COVID. Well, if you're freaking inviting me, then yeah, I'll be there. Freaking take me down there, please. Do you do karate? Oh my God, no, I don't, but I really want to start doing like martial arts or something. I don't know. I really want to start doing something like that though. Something very active. I just started going to the gym again for the first time in like fucking 2 years, year and a half. But that's been good. I'm really excited about that. How's school going? Well, I dropped out. So not great. But yeah, the reason why I dropped out is because I basically just stopped going to classes because they were all online. And I was not motivated at all to go to my classes online. And I didn't, yeah, I don't like the way that they're handling COVID here, you know? I'm not good at online learning. I need to be in a classroom and like looking at the teacher and the students, and I need to have like the visuals and the fucking the whiteboards and the slides and everything like right in front of me so that I can write it down. And I need the teacher to be like, okay, you do this homework at this time and you have it turned in by class next week. And I'll be like, okay. It makes it way easier for me to do that. Okay, let's see if there's any more last questions here. I don't know if I'm going to go back then in the spring. I'm still deciding. Am I a Minecraft god yet? Well, my boyfriend has been since I just bought Minecraft for the first time. I had a free trial of Minecraft Realms, and he has been he has been building our home base for us. So I'd say I'm a god by proxy because he is a god and I am just a mere mortal in his presence. But yeah, he's been building our house and our everything, all of our farm. He's really good at farming in Minecraft, and I don't care about farming at all. But I teach him Terraria because I'm a very good Terraria player, and he had never played it before me. So we share responsibilities. Let's see if there's any more questions. And then I'm going to be going here soon. What's your astrological sign? I am a Sagittarius. My birthday is in 13 days. It's on the 28th. I'm going to be 21. Yes, finally. Have you thought about being an opera singer? I do like singing quite a lot. I do like singing. Hey, TuxCat said I was due on to 28th of November. That's when I freaking popped out, dude. I was due like 2 weeks earlier. Was overdue though. Hey, me too. Yeah, but I was a Thanksgiving baby. Not on that day, but sometimes I am. When I turned 3, I was. And when I turned 14. And when I turned 19 last year was on Thanksgiving too. I believe. I think. Happy birthday. Thank you. I'll probably be live on my birthday too. Maybe. We'll see. All right, I'm going to go. Thank you everyone for watching and asking me questions. I really appreciate everyone being here. Thank you to everyone on YouNow for interacting, saying hi. It's really great. I'm going to be on this platform a lot more. So anyone from YouTube, if you want to get notified when I go live here on YouNow and watch it and have a little bit more of like a personal experience with me, you can follow my YouNow. It's going to be in the description of this live chat. But if you're inclined to stay on YouTube, that's fine. Wherever you want to see me, that's totally great. My channel is L Palmer. It's a Palmer. L. Palmer. There it is. There's my YouTube channel. And all right. Thank you, everyone. Here, I'll share the link to the stream here in this YouTube chat. Okay, I'll share the link to my YouNow /L Palmer 1. There it is. Oops, that's not even a link. Wait, hold on. Wait, that's not. Oh, that's a link. Fixed it. All right. Thank you, everyone, for watching. Thank you so much. I will see you again here soon. Thank you. Goodbye.